It is said, in the quietest corners of the world, where the silence thickens and the wind hums its ancient song, there are places forgotten by time, places where the veil between what is seen and unseen is thinner than a breath. Among these lost spaces, there lies a bridge, one woven from stone and silence, half submerged beneath the flowing currents of a river long since forgotten. The river's waters, dark and deep, have hidden it for ages, yet it remains there, as if waiting. The first hint of this bridge comes not from sight, but from whispers. Whispers carried on the wind, faint echoes of voices from a time long past, murmuring tales of a sacred crossing, a passage where the boundary between the living and the eternal dissolved. The bridge, they say, was once the meeting point of realms the earthly and the divine, where gods themselves walked among mortals, and where souls whispered softly into the wind as they passed. Those who crossed this bridge found themselves not only on the other side of the river, but at the edge of existence itself. Some believe that this bridge was more than a physical structure. It was a gateway, an entryway between worlds. The stone pillars, half buried beneath the river's gentle current, were once seen by the eyes of those who journeyed here, who sought to pass from one life to another, from this world to the next. What was it, they wondered, that the bridge truly represented? Was it the passage of a forgotten deity, an eternal soul's crossing, now lost to the shadows? Or perhaps it was the bond between two worlds torn asunder by the currents of time, but never forgotten by the waters that caress its stones. As the river's surface reflects the moonlight, there are moments when the faint outlines of these ancient pillars rise from the depths, their surface etched with symbols long since erased by the erosion of time. In the stillness of the night, there is a quiet reverence in the air, a sacred pause, as if the land itself is holding its breath. The stones, once touched by the hands of gods, remain. Forgotten? Perhaps. But in the silence they call out. Perhaps they have always been waiting. Perhaps they are waiting still. The legend of this bridge, passed down through the ages, is both haunting and beautiful, a sacred promise left unfulfilled, like a message trapped in the ripples of the river. It is said that those who dared to listen closely to the water's song could hear the faint echo of the travellers who once passed this way, those who journeyed between realms, their footsteps fading into eternity. Some say the bridge is a relic, a ruin, an abandoned echo of a time when gods walked the earth. Others believe it remains a doorway, hidden beneath the surface, a threshold that can still be crossed, if only one dares to listen. In the stillness of the river's song, beneath the ever-present moonlight, we are reminded of the bridge's promise, a promise that transcends time itself. The bridge calls to us, but it does not speak in words. It speaks in silence, in the whisper of the current, in the gentle sway of the water. To cross it is to move beyond the known, beyond the certainty of the earth beneath our feet, and into the sacred unknown. What did the bridge represent, truly? Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps it was meant to be a symbol of connection, of transition, of life and death, of all that we cannot see and all that we cannot know. Some say it was a divine passage, a sacred way that was meant to unite gods and men. But that was long ago, and the memory of the bridge has faded, slipping into the river's embrace, its meaning carried away by the currents of time. Yet, even now, if one listens closely, there are those who swear they can hear it still. The faint echo of voices, the soft whisper of souls crossing over, the distant hum of a time when this bridge was not buried beneath the waters, but stood proudly beneath the sun, a symbol of hope, of connection, of passage. And though the bridge has been lost to history, it remains hidden beneath the surface, forever echoing in the quiet depths. The river, in its quiet grace, holds the bridge's secret close, veiling it in the shadow of its flowing waters. Those who seek it, who try to find its stone pillars, may never reach them. The waters of time have washed away the footprints of those who once crossed, and the current now pulls everything into its depths. But still, there are those who believe, who feel the call in the silence, the echo of something greater than the world around them. Perhaps the bridge was never meant to be found, or perhaps it waits patiently for those who are ready to listen. Some voices only echo when we are ready to hear them, when the winds are still and the world around us is quieted. The bridge, once a sacred crossing, now exists as a mystery, a memory caught between the realms of myth and reality. It is both lost and waiting, forever suspended in the quiet ebb and flow of time. As the moon rises higher in the sky, casting its gentle light over the water, we are left with the question, Will the bridge ever be found again, or will it remain hidden beneath the waters, a sacred echo that only the brave or the dreaming can hear? Perhaps, in the end, it is the journey toward the bridge that matters most. The quiet walk towards something we may never fully understand, but which leaves us with a sense of peace, of connection, of being suspended between the past and the unknown future. And so the river continues its endless flow. The moonlight dances on the surface, and the bridge, still submerged beneath the waters, waits in silence, its promise eternal. The currents of time may obscure its shape, but its presence lingers, as all things eternal do, waiting for the moment when we are ready to listen, ready to cross. In the heart of an ancient desert, where the earth's skin is cracked and the winds carry the weight of forgotten centuries, there burns a light. It flickers, faint but steady, casting long shadows that stretch across the endless dunes. This light, a single lantern, is not simply a flame in the dark. It is a whisper, a faint echo of a time long past, a relic of something lost to the ages. It is said that this lantern, though fragile in form, carries the weight of an entire civilization's memory, untouched by the storms, undimmed by the ravages of time. Its flame, like the heart of the desert itself, has endured, surviving where empires crumbled, where cities vanished, and where human presence has long been a distant memory. The wind shifts, and the flame dances, bending and swaying, yet it never goes out. The lantern, though small and humble, remains resolute, marking its place beneath the vast, star-strewn sky. The desert, once a cradle of civilization, now a barren cradle of sand, holds it in silent reverence. And though the lantern burns alone in the empty expanse, it calls to those who pass through, inviting them to wonder, who built this lantern? What did it once mean to those who sought its light? And what ancient truth does it carry, hidden beneath its quiet glow? There are few answers, only questions. And so the journey begins, for the poet, the traveller, the dreamer, who feels the pull of the lantern's silent invitation. Beneath the moon's soft gaze, they trace the endless horizon, their footsteps leaving only the faintest mark upon the wind-worn sands. Each step taken is a step further into the unknown, into the heart of the desert where memory fades and the land speaks only in whispers. The lantern, a flickering point of warmth in the cold desert night, is both a guide and a mystery. It is said that it was once a beacon for those who wandered the desert, for souls lost in the endless sea of sand, for those searching for a safe passage or, perhaps, a final resting place. But what did it mean to those who followed its light? What did they believe they would find at the end of their journey? Safety, solace, or perhaps something more profound, something buried beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered? Some speak of a vanished people, their names forgotten by time, whose wisdom once guided the great caravans, and whose culture flourished in the shadow of the dunes. But like the lantern, their memory has been obscured, veiled by the sands of time and the winds that carry everything into oblivion. In the quiet, as the lantern burns and the desert holds its breath, one can almost hear their voices, soft murmurs lost to the ages, speaking in a language that time has erased. Were they gods or simple men? Were they wanderers like us, or were they keepers of some sacred knowledge, their civilization a bridge between the heavens and the earth? Beneath the moonlight, the poet walks onward, tracing the path of the lantern's soft glow. Their footsteps are soft against the sands, and the silence is profound. The land stretches before them in a vast, unbroken expanse, its beauty both awe-inspiring and humbling. The dunes rise and fall like the breath of the earth itself, soft whispers of wind carving patterns into the earth's skin. And yet, amid this desolate beauty, the lantern flickers on, a steady reminder that even in the most barren places, there are remnants of what was once great. As the poet draws closer to the lantern, they find themselves pausing. The air grows still, and the world seems to fall silent. It is as though the lantern has opened a door to another world, a world forgotten but not lost, a world that speaks to the heart in whispers. The flame does not burn hot, yet it radiates a warmth that seems to reach deep into the soul, pulling the poet closer to something they cannot fully grasp. It is not a light that offers answers. It is not a light that promises salvation. It is a light that simply is a presence that endures, that stands in defiance of the emptiness surrounding it. The poet kneels beside the lantern, their fingers brushing the cool stone of the pedestal upon which it rests. The air is thick with the dust of ages, and the ground beneath them feels alive with memory. Perhaps it is the earth itself that remembers that holds the stories of those who once passed through this desert, their lives woven into the very fabric of the land. Perhaps the lantern, too, is part of this memory. Its flame a symbol, not of what was lost, but of what still lingers, waiting to be discovered by those willing to listen. The story of the lantern is not one of conquest, nor of triumph, nor even of loss. It is a story of quiet reverence, a meditation on how the simplest of things can hold the deepest of mysteries. The lantern, though it has no voice, speaks volumes in its silence. It stands not as a monument to the past, but as a testament to the enduring nature of light, of hope, and of memory itself. It tells us that even in the harshest of environments, in the most unforgiving of landscapes, there is beauty. There is a spark of something eternal, something sacred, that refuses to be extinguished. And so, the poet sits, watching the flame flicker in the cool desert breeze. The vastness of the night sky stretches above them, a blanket of stars scattered across the heavens, their light distant and ancient. The lantern's glow becomes softer, more intimate, as if it recognizes the quiet reverence of the moment. The wind picks up, whispering through the dunes, carrying with it the scent of distant places, of old roads and lost voices. The desert, too, whispers, its secrets buried deep within the sand, just beyond reach. The lantern, burning in solitude, holds its place in the night, its flame unwavering. It is said that the lantern has survived countless storms, sandstorms that whip across the land like furious beasts, eroding everything in their path. Yet, the lantern has endured, untouched, its flame still flickering, still offering light to those who would seek it. But why? What is it about this simple object that allows it to defy the ravages of time, to remain when all else fades? Perhaps it is because it is not merely a lantern. Perhaps it is a symbol, a keeper of something more, a sacred memory, a truth that lives beneath the surface, waiting for the moment when it will be revealed. As the night deepens, the lantern's light begins to fade, as all things must. The poet rises, their gaze lingering on the flame as it flickers in the desert wind. The silence returns, profound and unbroken. The lantern, though its flame has dimmed, has not gone out. It remains, as it always has, a silent sentinel in the vast emptiness of the desert. And perhaps, in that silence, it speaks its final message, that the greatest mysteries are not those that are found, but those that remain, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. And so, as the poet fades into the night, the lantern's flame flickers softly, casting its final shadow over the dunes. In the quiet of the desert, where memory fades and the land remembers, the lantern burns on its story untold, its light eternal, a symbol of the sacred silence that speaks to those willing to listen. In the heart of a forgotten jungle, where the trees rise like ancient sentinels and the air hums with the weight of centuries, there stands a temple, veiled in shadows and silence. Its stones, half wrapped in moss and vine, whisper of a time when the moon shone with a different light. Beneath the tangled canopy, where the daylight never truly touches the earth, this temple remains unseen, untouched, but never truly gone. The temple's walls are adorned with serpentine carvings, their scales etched in stone, winding in intricate patterns that pulse with a life of their own. These symbols, enigmatic and ancient, tell of gods and rituals, of powers that once walked among men, and of a secret bond between earth and sky. The jungle, thick with the weight of history, holds its breath around this sacred place, for here, in the depths of the wild, memory fades and myth begins. It is said that those who once ventured into the temple were not guided by the stars above, but by the pulse of the earth itself. The moon, in its quiet majesty, cast a different light in those ancient days, a light that illuminated the path of those brave enough to seek what lay beyond the veil of the visible world. Perhaps it was the serpent, winding through the temple's shadows, that gave them power, or perhaps it merely led them to something deeper, something older. The jungle does not offer easy answers, but only soft whispers carried on the wind, gentle echoes of a time when gods and mortals were not so far apart. The temple, though long abandoned, is alive with the memory of those who once prayed here. Their voices are lost, their names forgotten, but the sacred bond between man and earth remains, held within the stone and the shadows. As we stand before the temple, the air thick with the scent of earth and decay, we are reminded of the power of silence. The jungle speaks in its own language, one of subtle shifts, the rustle of leaves, the distant cry of unseen creatures. But here, within the ruins, there is a different kind of stillness, one that seems to hold its breath, waiting for something, someone to listen. The serpents, their carved forms coiled in elegant patterns along the walls, seem to watch, their eyes made of stone, but filled with an ancient knowing. They are not just guardians of the temple, they are its keepers, its voice, its very spirit. The serpent, in many ancient cultures, was a symbol of transformation of life and death, of wisdom and mystery. And here, beneath the temple's crumbling roof, the serpents are more than mere symbols. They are the bridge between what was and what could still be, between the forgotten gods and the restless souls that seek their power. As the moon rises, casting its pale light through the gaps in the jungle canopy, the temple comes alive in the quiet glow. The serpentine carvings seem to pulse, their forms shifting in the dim light, as though the very stone breathes in time with the earth. It is here, beneath the moon's watchful eye, that the rituals once took place. The air is thick with their lingering presence, the faintest echo of chants that have not been spoken in millennia. What did they seek, those who gathered here? What did they ask of the serpent, whose presence was both a blessing and a warning? The jungle holds its secrets tightly, and the temple, though it stands in silence, is no mere ruin. It is a doorway, a threshold, waiting for the right soul to step through and unlock what remains hidden. The silence deepens as we move further into the heart of the temple, stepping softly on the time-worn stones that once saw the feet of priests, travelers, and seekers. The air grows heavy with the weight of forgotten history, and the jungle, in its eternal watch, seems to hold its breath. Here, beneath the archways carved with serpents, we uncover the remnants of a civilization lost to time. There are no grand monuments, no towering statues, only these quiet remnants, the faded carvings, the weathered stone, the quiet promise of something eternal. And yet, as we wander deeper, we begin to realize that this place is not truly lost. It is merely waiting, like the serpent, watching for those who will return. In the shadows, beneath the crumbled pillars and the tangled vines, we find the evidence of those who came before. The temple's walls bear the marks of ancient rituals, symbols of celestial alignment, patterns of the stars that no longer shine with the same clarity. These symbols, once vibrant with meaning, have faded with the passing years, leaving only traces, whispers of what was. Yet, they are not gone. They remain here, in the stone, in the earth, in the breath of the jungle itself. The serpent's gaze is eternal, its purpose unchanging. Perhaps it was never meant to reveal its secret, not to the careless wanderer or the fleeting traveller. Perhaps it waits for those who come with reverence, who seek not power, but understanding. The journey deeper into the temple is not a journey through space, but through time. Each step taken on the stone floor is a step through forgotten centuries, through the veils of myth and memory. The jungle, in its quiet wisdom, does not hurry. It moves slowly, with the rhythm of the earth itself. And here, in this forgotten temple, the passage of time is measured not by the ticking of clocks, but by the slow dance of shadows and light. The moon, high above, casts its pale glow on the stone, illuminating the serpent's coils as they wind their way across the temple's walls. It is a dance of silence, a ritual that has been performed countless times, but never forgotten. And yet, the deeper we go, the more elusive the truth becomes. The serpent, though ever present, does not speak. It does not give its secrets freely. The temple, though ancient, does not offer its knowledge to just anyone. It asks for something more: patience, reverence, perhaps even surrender. And so, as we reach the heart of the temple, where the silence is thick and the air is heavy with ancient power, we are left with a single, lingering question. Do the serpents still watch over the jungle, waiting for the return of those who seek them? Or have they faded into the earth, their whispers lost to time, their secrets buried deep beneath the stones? Perhaps they are not gone at all, but simply waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to listen, to understand, to feel the pulse of the earth beneath their feet. Perhaps, in the end, the temple is not a place to be found, but a mystery to be carried within, a sacred silence that lingers in the heart long after the journey has ended. And so, as the moon rises higher, casting its soft light over the temple's crumbling stones, we pause. The temple stands, silent and watchful, its serpentine carvings glowing softly in the night. The jungle hums with life, But here, in the temple's shadow, there is only stillness, a stillness that holds the memory of a civilization long gone, but never forgotten. The serpent, like the moon, remains ever watchful, its gaze fixed on the endless jungle, waiting for the return of those who will seek, and perhaps, in time, understand. On the edge of a cliff, where the earth falls away into the abyss, there stands a stone circle. Its edges are softened by centuries of wind, its surface worn smooth by the passage of time. The stones are not as sharp as they once were, their once precise angles now dulled by the relentless kiss of the weather, and yet there they remain silent, enduring, a testament to a time long past. The circle is not merely a formation of stone, but a witness to something older, something sacred, as ancient as the stars themselves. Beneath a sky that stretches infinitely toward the horizon, where the edge of the world meets the heavens, the stones seem to pulse with an unspoken energy. As night begins its quiet descent, painting the world in shades of indigo and gold, the silence grows deeper. There is a rhythm in the air, a slow, almost imperceptible beat, as though the earth itself is holding its breath, waiting for something. Perhaps it waits for the stars to take their place in the sky, for the heavens to once again align with the stones, as they did in times long past. Or perhaps the stones themselves are waiting for something, some forgotten truth, some lost ritual to stir the air once more. It is said that this stone circle, though abandoned and forgotten by those who once revered it, once held great cosmic significance. Whispers tell of stargazers who stood at the center of the circle, their hearts bound to the night sky, their minds reaching out to touch the stars. The circle, they believed, was a bridge between the earth and the heavens, a place where the boundaries between the two were thin and fragile. Some say the stones were set in alignment with the stars themselves, carefully placed to mark the passage of time and the movements of the celestial bodies. This was no mere structure. It was a temple to the sky, a place where the mysteries of the universe were sought and perhaps understood. As the last light of day fades and the stars begin their slow dance across the darkened sky, the stones cast long shadows. The air is heavy with the weight of ancient knowledge, with secrets that have been buried beneath the sands of time. The night feels older here, as though the very earth holds the memory of what once transpired within the circle's embrace. And as the stars twinkle into place, it becomes clear that the stones have not forgotten their purpose. Their alignment with the heavens is as true now as it was when they were first set. Perhaps, in some distant corner of the universe, the stones still call out, waiting for the day when the earth and the sky will once again be as one. What sacred knowledge was shared here? What forgotten rituals, tied to the stars, were once performed beneath this silent sky? The stones, though weathered and aged, still seem to hold the echoes of those ancient rites. Beneath their surface, beneath the weight of time, the truth remains hidden, veiled by the shifting sands, obscured by the passage of millennia. What did the stargazers know, those who stood at the center of the circle, looking not at the earth beneath their feet, but at the heavens above, their eyes tracing the patterns of stars and constellations that guided them through the dark? What did they see that we cannot? The journey through this forgotten place is not one of space, but of time. With each step we take, we trace the footprints of those ancient souls who walked here before us. They, too, must have stood in this same spot, gazing up at the same stars, their hearts filled with awe and wonder. Did they, too, feel the weight of the night press upon them, as though the very air was thick with the knowledge of ages? Did they, too, sense the deep connection between the earth and the stars, between the celestial and the earthly, and know that they were part of something much greater than themselves? The night grows deeper still, and the wind shifts, carrying with it the faintest whispers. The stones, though silent, seem to speak. Their silence is not empty. It is full, pregnant with meaning, waiting for someone like us, to listen. Perhaps, in time, we will uncover the secrets they hold. Perhaps, one day, we will understand the ancient rituals that took place beneath this vast sky. Perhaps the stones will awaken, and the heavens will once again align with the earth in a moment of cosmic unity. But for now, there is only silence. The stone circle stands, an eternal witness to a forgotten age. And we, who stand here in its shadow, are left with the lingering question: will the stones ever speak again? Will the circle ever reveal its secrets? Or are they destined to remain forever hidden, buried beneath the weight of the earth and the stars? Perhaps it was never meant to be found, not yet, anyway. Some things are left to time, to the stars, to the silence of the earth. Some truths may never be understood, no matter how deeply we search. As the night stretches on, and the stars burn brighter in the sky, we are left with only the feeling that the stone circle is waiting for the right moment, the right person, to awaken it from its slumber. The stones, though ancient and weathered, remain unbroken, their bond with the heavens unshaken. They are the keepers of a secret that time has not erased, a secret that lies just beyond the reach of human understanding. And so, as we stand in the stillness of the night, gazing up at the stars, we realize that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. Some truths are meant to remain suspended in time, like the stars themselves, forever out of reach, but never fading from view. And so, in the quiet embrace of the night, the stone circle remains silent, eternal, waiting. The sky above is vast, its stars marking the passage of time, while below, the stones stand as silent sentinels, holding the memory of a civilization long lost. Perhaps, one day, the circle will awaken. But for now, it is enough to know that it exists, waiting, a quiet reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond the reach of human understanding. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Some voices, after all, only echo when we are ready to listen. And so, as the night deepens and the stars continue their slow dance across the heavens, we let the silence carry us forward, tracing the path of those who came before us, beneath the shadow of the stone circle, toward a mystery that may never fully reveal itself, but which will always be there, watching over the earth, beneath the forgotten skies. Beneath layers of earth and time, beneath the breath of the winds that brush across the sands, there lies a city lost to memory, its walls buried in silence. The ground above it is soft, shifting, a canvas that hides what once was. It is said that the city was once a haven of peace, a place where laughter filled the air, where voices mingled with the song of life. Yet now, it slumbers in darkness, forgotten and abandoned. Its streets are empty, its homes vacant, and the very earth itself has claimed its secrets. The songs that once echoed through the city now rest beneath a veil of dust, as silent as the stars that pass by above. Whispers, carried on the wind, tell of a great ruler who once walked these streets, someone whose presence held the city's heartbeat. Some say that this ruler, bound by some ancient power, vanished into the night, and with their disappearance, the city's soul was lost. The people who once thrived here, what happened to them? Were they swept away by the tide of time, their names and faces lost to the ages? Or did they disappear in the dead of night, leaving no trace but the walls they built, the foundations they set? The question lingers in the air, unanswered, a question that seems to hang in the silence of the ruins, echoing between the stones like a dream fading at dawn. As we stand at the edge of this forgotten city, the earth beneath our feet feels heavy, as if it carries the weight of centuries. The sun, low in the sky, casts a golden light over the ruins, painting the stones with the soft hues of dusk. The silence that hangs over the city is profound, a stillness that is thick, almost tangible. The city once known for its life now sleeps, its streets still and empty. Yet, even in this stillness, there is a pulse, a quiet rhythm, as if the city itself is holding its breath, waiting for someone to listen. It is said that the city was a place of beauty, a place where every stone had its purpose, where every path led to a home, a heart, a soul. But now, as we wander through its streets, there is only the echo of what once was. The homes stand empty, their walls crumbled and worn by the weight of years. The pathways that once thrummed with the feet of its people are now lost beneath a blanket of dust. And yet, the air still carries the faintest memory of those who walked here, the faintest trace of their lives. We follow the path, stepping softly on the stones, careful not to disturb the silence too much. The city is like a whisper, an ancient memory that lingers in the shadows, in the spaces between the walls. There are no voices now, no footsteps, just the occasional rustle of the wind that stirs the dust, sending it spiraling up into the air, only to settle back down again. The breeze moves through the city like a gentle caress, as if it too is trying to remember something lost. Each building tells a story. A collapsed roof here, a broken column there, each stone, now worn by time, once held something sacred. A room that might have been filled with laughter now stands empty, silent, its walls bearing the faint marks of lives once lived. And yet, despite the silence, there is beauty here, quiet beauty, hidden beneath the dust and the rubble. The city's soul, though long gone, remains in the very stones. The paths once walked by the living are still there, winding through the ruins, guiding us towards some unknown truth. What happened here? Where did the people go? What is left, beyond the quiet beauty of forgotten things? The stones are ancient, their surfaces smooth from the touch of countless hands that have long since faded. The air is thick with the sense of memory, memory not of specific faces or names, but of the life that once filled this place. A life that moved in rhythm with the seasons, with the stars, with the sun that rose each morning and set each evening. It is said that in the days before the silence, the city's inhabitants understood something, the connection between the earth and the sky, between the living and the divine. Perhaps they understood how to listen to the quiet song of the earth, how to feel its heartbeat beneath their feet. Now, the city stands as a testament to that forgotten knowledge. The ruins, though broken and weathered, still hold a sacred presence. They speak in a language we can no longer fully understand, but one we can feel in the air, in the rhythm of our breath, in the stillness of our hearts. What can be learned from silence? What can we discover in the empty spaces where once life flourished? Perhaps the answer lies in the quiet reverence that we feel as we wander through these ruins. Perhaps it is enough to simply be here, to listen to the wind, to feel the earth beneath our feet, and to honor what once was. As the sun sinks lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the city, we pause. The fading light bathes the stones in a soft, golden glow, and for a moment, the city feels alive again, alive with the memory of all that once was. We walk further, tracing the paths, following the winding roads that lead to the heart of the city. And as we walk, we begin to sense something, an ancient pulse, a heartbeat that seems to come not from the city itself, but from the very earth beneath it. It is a reminder that the city, though lost, is not gone. It lives in the earth, in the wind, in the stars above. It lives in the quiet beauty of forgotten things, waiting for someone to listen. As night begins to fall, the silence deepens. The stars appear above, one by one, filling the sky with their cold, distant light. The city, now cloaked in darkness, seems even more silent, even more distant. But still, we remain here, in its shadow, walking its empty streets, tracing the steps of those who came before us. What did they leave behind? What did they know? Perhaps the city holds its secrets close, hidden beneath the earth, waiting for the moment when someone, perhaps someone like us, will be ready to hear them. And as we stand on the edge of the city, looking out at the horizon, where the sky meets the earth, we are left with a single question. Can the city ever be found again? Or has it vanished into the silence, taking its memory with it? Perhaps, like the stars above, some things are meant to remain hidden, waiting for the right moment to be uncovered. And so, as the night deepens and the first sounds of the world fall silent, we listen to the winds that stir the dust. The city may have been forgotten by time, but its song lingers still soft, eternal, waiting for those who will listen, those who will wander its silent streets and trace the forgotten paths. It is a song that will not be heard by the hurried or the restless, but by those who, like the city itself, have learned to wait. Nestled deep in the heart of a valley, where the air is thick with the whispers of ancient winds, there is a garden so hidden that time itself seems to have forgotten it. Wrapped in mist and shrouded beneath the veil of the moon's gentle glow, this place is unlike any other. The silence here is profound, the kind of silence that is not empty, but full of the weight of unspoken things, of secrets long kept in the folds of forgotten memory. It is said that this garden, though it has been tended for centuries, exists outside the flow of ordinary time, a place where the world bends gently, where the rhythm of life is marked not by the sun's journey, but by the shadowed moon. Under the light of this peculiar moon, the plants of the garden bloom, but only when its soft, silvered light falls upon them. It is as if the garden itself holds a breath, waiting for the right moment to release its beauty. When the moon rises high and the world falls into a quiet stillness, the petals unfurl, one by one, their delicate forms rising from the darkness of the earth, as though summoned by the pull of some ancient force. Each bloom is a quiet miracle, unfolding with the grace of a secret long hidden. The flowers seem to glow softly in the moonlight, their colours shifting like the pale shades of twilight, their fragrances carrying with them a memory of something long lost, a time when the world was younger, when the earth itself seemed to speak. There is a keeper of this garden, though no one recalls their name. Their presence is as much a part of the garden as the earth and the mist that clings to its every corner. The keeper moves through the garden with a reverence born of years centuries of quiet solitude. Their hands, weathered by time, trace the fragile stems of the flowers, their touch bringing an eerie stillness to the air, a stillness that seems to settle over everything. The keeper knows each plant by heart, each leaf, each vine. They tend to this sacred space with an unspoken vow, a promise made long ago to protect the garden, to preserve its secrets and its beauty, even as the world beyond it forgets. Some believe that the keeper is not truly human, but a spirit bound to the garden, their existence tied to its fate. Others whisper that they are the last of a long line of guardians, chosen to watch over the garden for reasons known only to those who crafted its mystery. And yet, even the keeper's history is lost to time. The memory of their face is hazy, like the fog that rolls through the valley, but their connection to the garden is undeniable. They move like a shadow, like a dream, their footsteps silent as they wander through the blooms, always lingering, always protecting. In the depths of the night, when the moonlight shrouds the garden in its soft embrace, the keeper is a solitary figure, tending to the eternal dance of life and death that the garden holds within it. The garden's beauty, though serene, is touched with melancholy. There is a sadness that drifts in the air, a quiet sorrow that lingers between the petals of the flowers. Perhaps it is the sadness of something lost, something forgotten, or perhaps it is the quiet mourning of the keeper themselves who guards this sacred place, knowing that the world beyond has moved on. The garden has always been there, untouched by time, and yet the keeper knows that nothing lasts forever. What stories lie hidden in the folds of its petals, in the very soil of the earth? What knowledge is imbued in the leaves that tremble in the breeze, in the flowers that bloom only under the moon's watchful eye? It is said that each flower holds the memory of an ancient civilization, its essence woven into the very fabric of the garden. Some believe that the plants are not just plants, but vessels of memory and wisdom, holding the echoes of a long-forgotten past. Each bloom carries with it the stories of those who once walked this earth, of those who understood the deep connection between life and death, between the earthly and the divine. These were people who knew that the natural world was sacred, that each plant, each tree, each flower was imbued with the spirit of the earth itself. Perhaps, in tending this garden, the keeper is not just caring for flowers, but for the memories of those who have long since passed. And yet, the garden's secrets are not easily uncovered. Like the keeper, they are veiled in mist, hidden beneath layers of silence. What story does the garden tell? What knowledge does it hold, waiting to be discovered? The longer one lingers here, the more the air seems to thicken with the weight of unanswered questions. There is a sense of waiting, as if the garden itself is waiting for someone to hear its silent song, to understand the rhythms that pulse beneath the stillness. But even as we ask, even as we search, the garden offers no clear answers. It only offers its beauty, its mysteries, and its quiet, sacred presence. The garden stretches endlessly, winding paths leading to corners hidden in shadow. There is a sense of something just beyond sight, just beyond reach, as though the garden is a living thing, alive with memory, alive with the passage of time, but hidden in ways that cannot be easily grasped. The moonlight shimmers on the leaves, casting long shadows that stretch like fingers across the ground, tracing the forgotten paths. It is as though the garden is inviting us to look deeper, to see what lies hidden in the quiet spaces between the flowers. Perhaps, in time, the answer will become clear. Perhaps, in time, the garden will reveal its secret to those who are ready to listen. The keeper moves deeper into the garden, their presence barely a whisper, a shadow among the flowers. They are a part of this place, woven into its very fabric, as timeless as the moon that watches over it. With each step, the air grows heavier, with the weight of their unspoken vow, an ancient promise to protect this sacred place, to preserve its beauty even as the world outside forgets. In the stillness of the garden, there is peace, but there is also a quiet sorrow, a sense that this place, this world, is slipping slowly from memory, from time, from history. And yet, the keeper remains, tending the flowers, tracing the fragile stems with hands that have seen centuries pass, watching as the moonlight falls over the blooms, just as it has for so many lifetimes before. Perhaps it was never meant to be found, this garden of shadow and moonlight. this sanctuary of forgotten memory. Perhaps it is enough for it to remain, shrouded in mist, a place of quiet reverence, where the passage of time is slowed, where the whispers of an ancient past are carried in the breeze. Some voices, after all, only echo when we are ready to listen. And as the moon rises higher in the sky, casting its soft glow over the garden, we are left with a lingering question. What will become of the garden, of the keeper, of the secrets it holds? Will it remain forever hidden, locked away in the silence of the valley, or will the world one day rediscover its sacred beauty? For now, the garden waits, its blooms unfolding in the moonlight, its mysteries quietly protected. The keeper moves silently through its paths, as they have for centuries, bound to this sacred place, their vow unbroken, their love for the garden eternal. Deep within the heart of an ancient mountain, where the stone breathes in silence and time moves slower than the distant river, there is a library. It is hidden, veiled by the mountain's secrets, and its entrance is guarded by doors that open only once every century. These doors are ancient, weathered by the hands of time and the whispers of those who sought it. In the stillness of the mountain, the doors remain locked, their secrets untouched, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. It is said that when the doors finally creak open, the air is thick with the dust of ages, and the world beyond them fades into the echo of forgotten things. Beyond the doors, within the stone walls, the library stands an eternal monument to knowledge long lost. Its shelves, lined with brittle scrolls and ancient texts, whisper of civilizations no longer remembered, of gods whose names have been wiped from history, of stories that time has forgotten. The scrolls have not felt the touch of daylight in millennia. The words etched on their surfaces are as faded as the stars that no longer shine in the sky above. And yet, despite the years, the library breathes with an almost sacred presence, a place where memory lingers, heavy in the air, where each word and symbol seems to pulse with the quiet power of what was. It is in this forgotten space that a scholar, drawn by the quiet allure of the unknown, stumbles upon the hidden door. The scholar, seeking nothing but knowledge, finds themselves standing at the threshold of a place that should have remained closed. The door, though carved with intricate symbols that speak of divine protection and ancient power, yields easily to their touch, as if waiting for someone to open it. With the softest of creaks, it opens, revealing the long-forgotten halls of the library, a space untouched by time, its walls thick with silence. As the scholar steps inside, the air grows heavy. The library is a sanctuary of forgotten things, of knowledge meant to be buried beneath the earth and the centuries. It is said that those who enter this place must listen with reverence, for the secrets it holds are not for the curious or the careless. The scholar's footsteps echo softly, each step a reminder of the stillness that pervades the air. The shelves are tall, reaching to the vaulted ceilings, their dark wooden frames covered in layers of dust, as though time itself has decided to rest here. And yet, the scholar feels the weight of the library's silence, an almost sacred presence that calls them forward into the heart of the unknown. The scrolls, though aged, still seem to pulse with life, as if the very ink used to write them carries a power greater than the years it has endured. As the scholar wanders through the aisles, they run their fingers across the parchment, each scroll revealing stories of gods who walked among mortals, of cities that flourished and fell, of knowledge that was lost in the wake of time. The names of kings and rulers, once revered, are now forgotten. The gods who were once worshipped have slipped away into the shadows of myth, their once proud temples now mere ruins beneath the soil. Yet here, in this sacred place, their names are still whispered in the fragile scrolls that line the shelves. It is said that the knowledge within this library was meant to remain hidden, to be lost to the world, so that it could never be used again. Perhaps it was too dangerous to be known, too powerful to fall into the hands of those who would misuse it. Perhaps the knowledge contained within these walls held the keys to powers that no mortal should ever possess. The scholar's fingers trace the words carefully, each one a key unlocking the doors to forgotten realms. They come upon texts that speak of forgotten kingdoms, once magnificent but now reduced to dust, and of gods whose names were erased by the very hands that once built their altars. The air seems to hum with the weight of what was lost, the sacred truths that have slipped through the cracks of history, leaving only the faintest echoes. As the scholar moves deeper into the library, they discover more. Ancient scrolls recount the lives of those who had discovered this place before them, seeking answers, seeking power, or perhaps seeking the very knowledge that the gods themselves had hidden away. Some of the texts speak of ancient rituals, long abandoned, their words dripping with an eerie sense of forbidden knowledge. Others are written in languages long forgotten, their meanings lost, their power rendered impotent by time. And yet, beneath the dust and decay, the essence of these words remains fragile, but undiminished. The knowledge contained here is both a gift and a curse, a treasure hidden for reasons unknown. But with each discovery, the scholar's heart grows heavier. There is something about this place that speaks not just to the mind, but to the soul. The weight of the forgotten knowledge, the sacredness of what has been lost, begins to settle within them. The library's silence is no longer peaceful. It is heavy, filled with the burden of knowledge that should never be unearthed. As they read further, the scholar begins to understand. Perhaps some truths are not meant to be remembered. Perhaps some secrets are meant to remain hidden in the shadow of time. As the scholar stands, alone among the rows of ancient books, a soft tremor runs through the air, an echo of the past, of lives once lived and forgotten, of gods once worshipped and now lost to myth. The walls seem to pulse with the quiet hum of this ancient power. What could the scholar do with this knowledge? What would they gain by uncovering the secrets held within these forgotten scrolls? Perhaps, like the gods of old, they too would be swallowed by time, lost to the echoes of their own curiosity. Perhaps, like the kingdom itself, they would fade into dust, leaving only the faintest trace behind. It is said that the doors of the library close only once every century, and so, as the scholar lingers in the quiet silence of this sacred space, the question lingers with them, unanswered and unresolved. What should be done with the knowledge of the past? Should it be kept hidden, locked away in the depths of the earth, where it can never hurt anyone again? Or should it be brought into the light, for all to see, for all to know? Some knowledge, after all, is meant to remain forgotten. As the scholar turns to leave, the silence of the library seems to press closer, its echoes growing fainter with each step. The doors, which had opened so easily before, now seem to resist. The scholar's heart beats loudly in the quiet, their breath shallow. The weight of the library's secrets clings to them, as if the very stones of the mountain are whispering their final farewell. With a soft click, the doors close behind them, the library retreating once more into the shadows, its secrets locked away for another century. The scholar leaves, but the question remains, lingering in the cool mountain air. Should some knowledge remain forgotten? Perhaps some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, when the world is prepared for what it might learn. And so, the library waits, silent and eternal, its secrets resting beneath the mountain, waiting for the next soul brave enough to seek them. Far from the shores of any known land, in the forgotten reaches where the horizon bends into darkness, there lies a sea unlike any other. It is a place untouched by the steady gaze of the sun, where the waters churn in shadow, black as midnight, swirling with a deep, unnerving quiet. The ocean here is not a place of life, but of stillness, a place where the sky and the sea meet in a soft, veiled embrace, blurring the boundary between the living and the lost. It is said that this sea, in its inky expanse, holds a secret darker than the abyss itself. Whispers, carried by the wind, speak of a curse, of a kingdom long swallowed by the waters, its name lost to time, its memory drowned in silence. There are tales spoken in hushed voices, far from the firelight of sailors' ships, that no one who ventures into these depths ever returns. The sea, they say, is a keeper of forgotten things, a vast blackened veil that hides a city beneath its surface, a city frozen in time, its streets empty, yet filled with the lingering echoes of those who once called it home. But what is the truth of these tales? What lies beneath the surface of this ocean that calls out, silent and eternal? Is it the remains of a great empire, swallowed in a single, cataclysmic moment, its fall never recorded, its people lost forever in the dark waters? Or is it something older, something even more ancient, a kingdom whose story was meant to be forgotten, preserved in the deep as a warning to those who might seek it? As the tides rise and fall, the journey begins. We follow the slow, rhythmic movements of the water, each wave gently rolling, each ripple a whispered invitation to move deeper into the mystery. The ocean itself seems to breathe, its surface ever shifting, yet always dark, as if hiding something beneath its placid exterior. We approach, drawn by the haunting pull of the unseen, carried along by the deep rhythm of the sea, until we reach the edge where the waves seem to merge with the very fabric of the world, and time itself seems to stand still. The water holds its secrets in a soft embrace, and beneath the surface we descend into the murk. The deeper we go, the less the world of the living makes sense. The water grows colder, and the light from above dims, swallowed by the blackness. Slowly, as we sink deeper into the sea's heart, the faintest traces of the lost kingdom begin to emerge. The city lies below, its ruins crumbled and veiled in the eternal shadow of the deep. The once grand structures, now half submerged, rise like spectres from the ocean floor. Their shapes, jagged and broken, rise from the depths, stretching upwards toward the light that no longer touches them. The stone is worn, its surface weathered by centuries of salt water, but there is an unmistakable beauty in the ruins, a melancholy grace in the way the stone meets the sea. What happened to the city? Why was it abandoned? Some believe that it was consumed by a single, catastrophic event, a storm of unimaginable fury, a wave so great that it swallowed the land and all that lived upon it. Others whisper that it was not the sea, but a curse, a divine retribution, a punishment for some ancient sin, the city's fall, a consequence of some forgotten betrayal, now lost to the sands of time. What was it that this kingdom had done, and who had it angered? Was it the gods, or the stars themselves, who turned away from this place, leaving it to the mercy of the sea? As we drift through the ruins, the water stirs gently, pulling us further into the heart of the city. Beneath the surface, the buildings stand frozen, their windows empty, their doorways leading to spaces where no one has walked for centuries. The city feels not quite dead, not quite alive, but suspended, caught in a moment of time, like a memory too fragile to hold. Here, in the silence, there is a sense of waiting, as though the city, the kingdom itself, still breathes in the deep, its heart beating slowly, waiting for the moment when it will rise once more. In the empty streets, we sense the faintest stir, a ripple of movement within the water. Ghostly shapes flit in and out of view, not quite visible, but felt in the breath of the current. These are not the living, but the echoes of those who once walked here, those who once thrived in this city of stone, their lives now folded into the fabric of the ocean. The whispers of their voices are lost in the water, their stories unfinished, forever suspended between the living world and the dark waters that claim them. The kingdom, though fallen, is not truly gone. It lingers, held in the depths, its soul preserved beneath the waves. Some believe that the city's time is not over, that it waits patiently, silently, for the tides to call it back to the surface. Perhaps, in some forgotten future, the sea will retreat, and the city will rise again, its streets filled with life, its temples glowing with the light of 1,000 stars. Perhaps, though, it is meant to remain buried, a place that serves as a reminder, a warning to those who would seek to uncover its secrets, a kingdom too powerful, too ancient, to be disturbed by the hands of the living. As we drift further into the sea's embrace, the water grows darker still, and the city begins to fade into shadow. The once vibrant structures, though majestic, are now but faint outlines, their details lost to the depths. We pause, suspended in this space between the world above and the one below, and a profound silence fills the air. The ocean, in its infinite wisdom, has chosen to keep its secrets. The kingdom lies forgotten, but not lost, not fully. It is said that the city sleeps beneath the waves, its spirit waiting, its story unfinished, as it waits for the moment when the tides will call it back to the surface. The ocean leaves us with its greatest mystery, the question of what lies beneath its dark surface. Is the kingdom simply sleeping, its history sealed beneath the weight of the water, or is it waiting for something, waiting for the moment when it will rise again? Perhaps it was never meant to be found. For some things are meant to remain buried, where memory fades and the sea holds its secrets. And as the waters swirl around us, we drift slowly back toward the surface, toward the world above, leaving the kingdom and its mysteries behind, knowing that the sea will keep its secrets for as long as the tides will rise and fall. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. And perhaps, like the kingdom beneath the waves, the greatest truths are hidden in the deep, waiting for the moment when the world is ready to hear them. Beneath a sky painted with endless stars, a single lantern sways in the wind, tied to the mast of a forgotten ship. The lantern, though battered by time and weather, burns still, casting a fragile light that trembles against the vast, dark ocean. It is the last trace of a voyage long past, a journey set forth by explorers whose names are now lost to history. The ship itself, long since departed from the paths of men, drifts in a sea untouched by time, its sails torn, its wooden hull softened by the embrace of the waves. Yet the lantern remains, its light flickers, undiminished by the years, marking the final vestige of a dream once dreamed by those who sought the edge of the world, the place where the stars fall into the sea. The ocean here is unlike any other, deep, eternal, a realm where the horizon bends into nothingness, where the sky and the sea become one. It is a place where the stars reflect upon the water, as though the heavens themselves have descended to kiss the earth. The lantern's glow dances in the ripples of the sea, a fragile thread that tethers the ship to the world of the living. But even in its flicker, the light speaks of something beyond the present, something lost, something ancient. The ship's crew are gone now, their names and faces swallowed by the tide, but their journey remains, etched into the heart of the sea. It is said that they sailed not just to explore, but to find something beyond the reach of human understanding. Perhaps they sought the edge of the world, that mythical place where the sea touches the sky, where the stars fall into the water like jewels, where the very fabric of the universe unravels. The ocean, in its infinite vastness, keeps their secret, holding it in its depths, where the light of the lantern flickers like a heartbeat in the dark. As we follow the path of the forgotten ship, we feel the pull of its journey. The ship, though abandoned, still moves with the rhythm of the ocean. Its course is not a straight line, but a meandering path, guided by the currents of the sea, the shifting winds, and the stars above. The mist rises from the water, swirling around the ship like a veil, softening the edges of the world, blurring the lines between sky and sea. The lantern's light casts a pale, ethereal glow, cutting through the darkness like a quiet prayer, a beacon to those who might see it, if only they are still enough to listen. It is said that the ship was lost in the search for something beyond the known world, a place where no map could lead, where the sea became a mirror to the heavens. The explorers who sailed upon it believed that if they could reach this place, they would find the answers to questions that had plagued humanity for centuries. What lies at the edge of the world? What lies beyond the stars? But the sea, in its mystery, does not give up its secrets easily. The ship drifted further from the familiar shores, beyond the world of men, into the unknown. And as it journeyed deeper, the sea seemed to pull it into its depths, drawing it into a place where time itself felt suspended. The lantern, though it burns still, has no answer. Its light is not a guide, not a promise, but a question, a reminder of the journey itself. Is it the light that leads us, or the journey that carries us forward? The lantern sways in the wind, its flame flickering against the eternal night, a faint trace of hope in the vast emptiness of the ocean. The ship may be lost, but its journey is not in vain. There is something in the journey itself, in the seeking, that speaks to the heart, that stirs the soul. It is said that the ship's crew, even as they sailed toward the unknown, knew that the answers they sought were not out there, beyond the horizon, but within themselves. They sailed not just to find a place, but to find something deeper, something that cannot be touched by the hands, but only felt in the heart. As the ship sails through the mist, the sea becomes more than just water. It becomes a reflection of the sky above, a mirror to the stars. The ocean seems to echo the heavens, and for a moment it is hard to tell where the sea ends and the sky begins. The lantern's glow flickers softly, a distant star in a sea of stars, floating upon the water like a reflection of the infinite. It is as though the ship itself is suspended between two worlds, between the world of the living and the unknown, between the sea and the sky, between time and eternity. The water moves in a slow rhythm, its surface like a dark mirror, and in its depths we can feel the pulse of the journey, the quiet beat of the heart of the sea. The ship's path is one of solitude. The crew is gone, but the lantern remains, its light still burning, a symbol of the voyage that once was. The ship, though empty, still carries the essence of the journey, the dreams of those who sailed upon it, the hopes they had for discovery, for revelation, for a truth beyond the stars. The ocean, with its vastness and its silence, keeps their memory alive as the ship drifts through the mist, its lantern glowing softly in the dark. It is not a light that will lead anyone back home. It is not a light that promises answers, but it is a light that remains, a testament to a journey that was never meant to be completed, a voyage that, in its very incompletion, becomes something sacred, something eternal. As the sea stretches on, and the ship drifts further into the mist, The lantern's light begins to fade. It is not extinguished, but rather becomes one with the darkness, merging with the sea and the sky, as though it too is becoming part of the journey. Perhaps, in the end, the lantern's light was never meant to guide it, was meant to remind. It reminds us that the journey itself, the act of seeking, is what matters. And as the ship continues on its endless voyage, lost to time and memory, it leaves behind only its question. Is it the light that guides us, or the journey that carries us forward? In the stillness of the sea, beneath the vast expanse of stars, the ship's lantern continues to flicker, a faint trace of a dream that once reached beyond the horizon. Perhaps it is not meant to be found. Perhaps it is the journey itself that calls to us, urging us to move forward, to seek, to sail ever deeper into the unknown. And as the water moves in its eternal rhythm, the lantern's light fades into the night, leaving behind only its memory, suspended between the sea and the stars, forever lost, yet never truly gone. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen. In the heart of a once thriving city, where the dust of centuries lies thick upon the streets, there stands a temple. Its stones are cracked, its columns shattered, and the once grand structure now crumbles beneath the weight of time. The city around it is silent, its streets long emptied, its voices lost to the winds. Yet, amidst the ruins, beneath the silence that has claimed all, the temple remains its form a faint echo of what it once was, its broken walls now softened by the embrace of nature. But there is something within this hollowed place. Somewhere, deep within the ruins, a song can still be heard. It is soft, barely perceptible, like the wind itself speaking a forgotten language, a whisper carried on the air, so faint that it could be mistaken for the breath of the earth itself. And yet, there it is, a song, distant and sacred, an echo of something long lost, something that once connected the divine with the earth. The song stirs the stillness, a melody that once filled the halls of the temple during moments of reverence and prayer. It is said that when this temple stood tall, when the city around it was full of life, its halls were filled with the voices of those who came to worship, those who sought to speak with the divine, to offer their prayers, to touch the sacred. The air would have been alive with ritual, with moments of profound connection, as the people called upon the gods, asking for their blessings, their guidance, their grace. And in those moments, it is said, the temple would respond. The divine would touch the earth, and the world would be changed. Now, the temple is abandoned, empty, and forgotten. The once magnificent altar stands in ruin, its offerings long faded, its stone worn by the passage of time. The prayers that once filled the air are now but echoes, lost in the dust. And yet, the song remains, faint but persistent, woven into the very stones of the temple. It is a song that cannot be silenced, a song that was never truly meant to end. Though the temple lies in ruins, there is a presence here, a reminder that some things are not so easily forgotten. As the journey through the ruins unfolds, the air grows heavy with the weight of the past. Each step, taken on the worn stone floors, is a step into a world that no longer exists, a world that has faded into the shadows of time. The pillars that once stood proud now lie broken, their jagged edges softened by the touch of the earth. The walls, once adorned with vibrant carvings, now bear only the faintest traces of their former glory. And yet, despite the damage, there is still a beauty here, an ancient beauty that speaks not with words, but with silence. As we move deeper into the temple, the song becomes clearer, rising like a distant memory. It is a melody carried on the wind, a prayer wrapped in the stillness of the space. The song seems to guide us, pulling us deeper into the heart of the temple, into the place where the sacred and the earthly once met. With each step, the song grows louder, as if the very air is becoming filled with the voices of those who once walked here. The rhythm of the song is slow, like the pulse of the earth itself, and as it fills the temple, it seems to echo in the heart of every stone, every crack, every crumbled column. And then, as we reach the heart of the temple, we come upon the altar. It is shattered, its surface worn and broken, but there is a presence here, a sense that the altar still holds the weight of centuries of prayer, still carries the sacred energy of those who offered their hopes and dreams upon it. The air is thick with the memory of those moments, of the voices that once filled this space, and it is as though the temple itself is waiting for something, waiting for someone to call upon it once more. The song, now full and clear, fills the space, and for a moment we are no longer in the ruins, no longer in the world of the present. We are transported to a time long ago, to a place where this temple was alive with light and sound, where the air was thick with the presence of the divine. The people who once came here, their faces lost to time, but their voices still linger in the song. They are not gone. They are here, in the silence, in the space between the ruins. Their prayers, their hopes, still echo in the very stones. And yet, even as the song reaches its crescendo, we are left with a question that the temple itself seems to ask. What happens when the temple is abandoned? When the prayers are no longer spoken? When the rituals are no longer observed? What becomes of the sacred spaces? Does the divine still listen? Does the earth still respond? Or does the silence become permanent, the song fading into the depths of time, leaving only the ruins behind? Perhaps the temple was never truly abandoned. Perhaps it was waiting, as it always has, for the moment when the earth would once again call upon it, when the song would rise once more, not as an echo, but as a new offering. Some believe that the song will only return when the time is right, when the world is ready to hear it again. Others believe that the song has never truly stopped, that it has always lingered in the ruins, waiting for someone, for something, to awaken it. As we leave the heart of the temple, the song begins to fade, slowly, gently, as though it is drifting away with the wind. The air grows still once more, the silence settling back into the space. The ruins stand, broken but not lost, holding their secrets in the shadows. The temple, though empty, is not truly abandoned. It waits, as it always has, for the moment when it will once again be called upon to sing its ancient song. And so, as we step back into the silence of the world, the song lingers with us, a quiet reminder of what was once here, of what still remains. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps the song is not for us to understand, but for us to feel, to experience in the stillness of our own hearts. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and perhaps, in the stillness, the temple waits for the right moment, the right soul, to awaken its sacred song once again. Tucked away in the forgotten corners of an ancient city, where the earth has claimed the once paved roads and the wind whispers through crumbled walls, there lies a gate. It is half covered in ivy, its stone carvings softened by the slow, steady hands of time. The once clear lines of the ancient symbols are now blurred, faded by centuries of rain, sun, and silence. The gate stands still, unmoving, its purpose long forgotten by the world, yet it remains a silent testament to something much older. Some say that this gate is not just a simple doorway, but the entrance to a place where time itself has no power, a city lost to the ages but never truly gone. It is said that once, long ago, travellers from distant lands would have seen this gate and been drawn to it, compelled by the whispers of immortality, the promise of something beyond the reach of time. The gate, with its intricate carvings and mysterious presence, beckoned those who sought the unknown, who yearned for something beyond the ordinary world. It offered them more than just a passage, it offered them eternity. But what lies beyond? Was it truly a city that could defy time, where the living and the immortal could dwell together? Or, perhaps, is it something darker, a place so ancient and so filled with secrets that even the ancients themselves feared it? The journey begins at the gate, where the air is thick with the silence of forgotten things. The ivy, though ancient, clings to the stone as if to hold it in place, as if to keep the memory of the city alive. The city itself is a half-remembered dream, its once vibrant streets now buried beneath dust and decay. Yet, there is a pulse here, a faint echo that seems to hum just below the surface, a rhythm that once flowed through the veins of the city, now stilled but never entirely gone. The gate stands as the threshold between worlds, the world of the living, marked by time, and the world of the eternal, where the boundaries of life and death blur into one. As we step closer, the weight of the gate's silence presses upon us, like a secret held in the stone. There is a heaviness in the air, as though the gate is waiting for something, waiting for the right moment, for the right person to approach. The carvings on the stone seem to shift in the dim light, their meaning lost to the ages, but still filled with a presence that cannot be ignored. Each symbol, once vibrant with meaning, now appears faint, like the remnants of a dream fading with the first light of morning. And yet, the gate remains silent, steady, and unmoving. Some believe that the gate leads to a city frozen in time, a place where the clocks of the world no longer tick, where the seasons do not change, and where the souls of those who enter are preserved forever. There are stories of those who passed through the gate, who entered the city and were never seen again, their names lost to the winds, their faces forgotten by those they left behind. In the city, they say, time is an illusion, and those who dwell within it are ageless, their spirits untouched by the passing years. But what happens to those who enter? Are they truly immortal? Or do they become trapped in a world that exists outside the flow of time, forever caught in a loop of eternity? As we step closer to the gate, the silence grows heavier, more profound. The air grows still, as though the world itself is holding its breath, waiting. And in the distance, through the broken walls and shattered columns of the city, we can see the faintest glimmer of light, a soft glow that seems to pulse in time with the rhythm of the universe. It is said that this light is the last trace of the city's once vibrant soul, a remnant of the divine that once touched this place and imbued it with power beyond comprehension. The path leading to the gate is worn, its stones crumbled and broken, but it still holds a faint trace of the footsteps that once travelled upon it. The city, though in ruin, still carries the weight of the memories of those who walked its streets, those who sought the eternal truth that the gate promised. The wind stirs through the ruins, carrying with it the scent of earth and stone, the scent of things long forgotten. And yet, there is something in the air, a faint energy that seems to vibrate, as if the city itself is alive, waiting to share its secrets with those who listen closely enough. As we pass through the gate, the city seems to open up before us, stretching endlessly in every direction. The buildings, though crumbled, still stand tall in their way, their once grandeur now softened by the passage of time. The streets are lined with broken statues, their faces weathered by centuries of exposure, but still holding a trace of their former beauty. The city is a place suspended between worlds, a place where the living and the immortal exist side by side, their paths intertwined in ways that cannot be understood by those who have not walked this land. The deeper we travel into the heart of the city, the more the air grows thick with mystery. The buildings seem to hum with a quiet energy, as though they are waiting for something, waiting for the city to come alive again. The light, though soft and fading, seems to guide us forward, pulling us deeper into the heart of the eternal city. There is no clock here, no markers to tell us the time. The days blend together, lost in the endless stretch of time. And yet, beneath the surface, there is a sense that time is still passing, that the city is not truly frozen, but merely waiting. It is said that the city's immortality is not what it seems. Perhaps it is not the people who live here who are ageless, but the city itself, enduring beyond the reach of time. It is a place of constant renewal, where the past, the present, and the future all exist in a single moment, overlapping and blending together like the shifting sands of the desert. Perhaps, in the end, the city is not a place of eternal life, but a place where the boundaries between life and death become blurred, where the past never truly fades, but is always present, waiting to be rediscovered. As we leave the city behind, we stand once more at the gate. The silence that once enveloped us now feels different, as though it has shifted, deepened, and in its quiet, there is the faintest trace of something, perhaps a memory, perhaps a presence that lingers, just out of reach. The gate stands still, its carvings now unreadable, but its presence undeniable. Perhaps it was never meant to be found. Perhaps the gate leads not to eternity, but to a forgotten end, where the city waits, where the past and future are forever entwined. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and perhaps, as the gate stands silent behind us, we are left with a single, lingering question. Does the gate lead to eternity, or to something lost, something forgotten? Beneath the mountain's shadow, hidden from the eyes of men and veiled by the weight of the earth, there lies a cavern unlike any other. It is said that this place, forgotten by time and untouched by the hands of those who wander the world above, is made entirely of crystal. The walls of the cavern shimmer in the dim light, casting an eerie, otherworldly glow that flickers softly across the stone, reflecting a light that feels as though it has never seen the sun. The air within is cool and still, thick with the scent of earth and stone, and yet, beneath the silence, there is a sense of something ancient, something sacred. This cavern was once a sacred place, a realm where the ancient ones, those who sought to touch the deepest mysteries of the earth, came to commune with forces beyond human understanding. The crystals themselves, like sentinels of the forgotten past, hold within them the memory of those who gathered here long ago. What knowledge did they uncover in this hidden sanctuary, where the earth itself seemed to pulse with life? What secrets lie trapped in the stillness of these ancient stones, sealed away by time and silence? Some say the crystals whispered their wisdom to those who dared to listen, their voices faint but clear, like the echoes of a dream that has not yet fully formed. The journey through the cavern begins at the mouth of the entrance, where the dark stone gives way to the brilliance of the crystal walls. The light that fills the cavern is not harsh, but soft, diffused like the moon's glow, casting everything in a pale, ethereal light. The walls, though cold and unyielding, seem alive in their own way. Each shard of crystal pulses with a silent energy, as though the very essence of the earth hums beneath its surface. The air is thick with the weight of centuries, centuries of secrets buried beneath the mountain, waiting to be uncovered by those who have the courage to seek them. The labyrinthine corridors wind deep into the earth, twisting and turning in patterns that seem to hold no beginning and no end. The path is marked by the faintest glimmer of crystal, which glows brighter as we move deeper into the heart of the cavern. The stones beneath our feet are smooth, worn by the touch of ages past, and as we walk, we can almost hear the faintest whisper in the air, the sound of something ancient stirring in the depths. It is said that the crystals are not just objects of beauty, but keepers of wisdom, and those who have passed through this sacred space have felt their voices, faint but clear, in the stillness. As we move further into the cavern, the walls seem to close in around us, their surfaces covered in delicate veins of crystal that shimmer like veins of light. The air grows cooler, and the silence deepens, wrapping us in a cloak of mystery. Each step we take is measured, as if we are intruders in a place that was never meant to be disturbed. The silence here is not empty. It is filled with the weight of things long forgotten, of voices that have not been heard for countless lifetimes. There are no statues, no carvings to guide us, only the crystal walls that stretch endlessly in every direction. The path leads us deeper into the heart of the cavern, where the light from the entrance grows fainter, replaced by the soft glow of the crystals themselves. The deeper we go, the more the cavern seems to breathe with us. The air is still, but it feels as though the cavern itself is alive, holding its breath, waiting for something or someone to unlock its secrets. The crystals, though silent, seem to watch, their shapes shifting in the dim light, their beauty haunting, their mystery unsolved. The voices of the ancient ones, though long silenced, still linger in the walls of the cavern. The crystals hold the echoes of those who came here to seek the deepest knowledge of the earth. What did they learn in this sacred space, this temple of stone and crystal? What truths did they uncover in the stillness? In the heart of the mountain, where the earth's most ancient secrets are buried beneath layers of rock and crystal, perhaps the knowledge was never meant to be fully understood, or perhaps it is lost forever, trapped within the walls of the cavern, waiting for the right moment, the right soul, to uncover it once again. As we reach the heart of the cavern, where the air is thick with the presence of something both beautiful and sorrowful, we stop. The light is soft now, dimming as we have moved further from the entrance, and the silence is profound. It is said that the deepest part of the cavern holds the oldest crystals, the ones that have witnessed the passage of countless generations, the ones that have absorbed the whispers of the earth itself. The largest of these crystals stands tall, like a silent guardian, its surface covered in veins of light that pulse slowly in the dimness, as though it is breathing. It is a reminder that the earth, in its stillness, holds memories that are too deep for us to comprehend, memories that have been stored in the very stone we walk upon. But there is no answer here, no revelation, only the silence of the cavern, only the song that has not been fully sung. Perhaps it was never meant to be found, this knowledge buried in the crystal's glow. Perhaps the secrets of the earth are not meant to be understood, but felt in the stillness, in the silence between the breaths of the earth. The cavern offers no answers, only its haunting silence, a song forgotten before it was ever fully sung, a mystery that has no end, only an eternal presence. As we stand in the heart of the cavern, the silence grows thicker, the air heavier, as though the cavern itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen, for someone to listen. The crystals, though still, seem to hum with the weight of ages, with the weight of memories that have been lost to time. They are both beautiful and sorrowful, reminders of what was once known but is now forgotten. Perhaps they are waiting for the earth itself to speak again, for the voices of the ancient ones to rise from the depths, from beneath the silence, to be heard once more. And so, as we make our way back toward the entrance, leaving the heart of the cavern behind, we are left with the feeling that something is still there, something we cannot quite reach. The cavern, though silent, still holds its secrets. Perhaps it was never meant to be fully understood. Perhaps some things are meant to remain buried beneath the earth, waiting for someone to listen again when the time is right, when the earth is ready to speak once more. Some voices only echo when we are ready to listen, and perhaps, in the heart of the mountain, the crystal cavern will always wait, a reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the surface, hidden in the stillness, waiting to be uncovered again.